Piwa, let's talk about something that's always super fun to talk about: bathrooms.
Hmm. Bathrooms.
Yeah. So many of those listening here probably have a say in their own church's bathroom status. They're planning things like away mission trips or perhaps overnight stays at camp with young people. What wisdom would you have for those who want to get this right? How can adults create safe space for all of the youth in this area?
Yeah, something that people can literally do today, especially if you have bathrooms that are single stall, like it's a one at a time bathroom. Look at the labels outside that bathroom. If it has any kind of a gender, I encourage you, even if you got to handwrite a sign or print one out, just write bathroom, bathroom, right? Because we don't have gendered bathrooms in our homes. Maybe some of y'all do. I've just never heard of it, right? So it's like a toilet, right, that people of any gender will use in our own homes. Um, and it is a one at a time bathroom. So there's like literally no reason those bathrooms are gendered.
Yeah.
So that's something you can do today at the cost of a piece of paper, tape, or whatever else you want to put up on your wall to like properly do that. Um, Now for other areas, so I know a lot of people are like, well, we can't redo our bathrooms. We don't have a kind of a budget and blah, blah, blah. And so again, you guessed it, culture shift. I think there are ways in which, so for bathrooms, maybe that aren't like just one at a time, um, one way that someone might approach is to like to label the bathrooms descriptively. So if you've got what tends to be like a women's room, for example, where it's like, maybe like three or four toilets and they're like stalls with doors, just write 3 stalls, or this bathroom has stalls, and then put that up on your sign. You know what I'm saying? So like now, if I'm a person who needs to use a restroom and I see that there are stalls in this one with doors, then I can be like, cool, I can come in here, have my little like private little cubicle, private-ish cubicle, and do whatever I need to do, right? Um, and then the one where it becomes a little bit more complex, where a lot of like where things kind of get a rougher is like when there are urinals in a bathroom that typically don't have any kind of a covering, right? There's kind of like open and they're at the beginning of the bathroom, right? Um, so one way to label that is stalls and urinals or whatever it is, right? Just kind of write again to descriptively say what is in this door when you walk in, what kind of bathrooms might you anticipate. Um, and then there's the issue then of like, well, how do we do this in a safe way? Well, my question in response to that question is, how do, typically boy children know how to conduct themselves safely in bathrooms that have urinals, right? So however it is that they learned, then let that be a learning for all people. Hey, here is urinal etiquette. When you go into a bathroom, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't, like examine every urinal who may be in there, right? Like that's just proper etiquette. And I think that literally can be taught to anyone. Etiquette when a bathroom has urinals, etiquette when a bathroom has stalls, etiquette when, right? Even if it's a single stall bathroom, there's etiquette there too. Like flush after yourself, wash your hands, make sure your waste is in the waste bin, like et cetera, right? So um, I would even say this is a good refresher course because we assume that people know proper etiquette for how to use urinals, right? And so if we're talking about this really being like a safe space, for the organization, safe church policies, or whatever else, this would be a good time to talk about what is safe, because what someone might think is safe is not actually safe for most people. And so that's going to be again a culture shift where it's like, here's how bathrooms are set up and here's how we're covenanting to conduct ourselves, to the etiquette for using such bathrooms when we use them. And that's for anyone of any gender. And then now you have descriptively labeled bathrooms, and then people will do what they need to do. If I don't want to be in a bathroom with a urinal, guess what? I'm not going to go into urinal bathroom. If I don't want to go into a stall bathroom, I'm not going to go to the stall bathroom, right? So they're just, I think, trusting that people know what they need and shifting culture in a way that we're educating more widely so that people have a better sense of what they may need or may not need. Because we don't always know that because we don't talk about those things in culture usually. So that's probably how I would approach. And again, if you're traveling, for example, going to an organization that has committed the sin of like gendered single stall bathrooms, you can literally while your organization your team is there, fix the bathrooms, and then forget to take the signs down. Like that's even a way that you can even help them. Like, oh, you know what? Maybe we could just keep this as it is, right? Um, but that's literally something people can do today to like kind of help do that work and again, like I mean, it said this to the webinar a couple weeks ago, that this idea that these bathroom laws are almost always focused on like this like fictitious transgender predator, when 0% of people who have actually enacted harm on people in bathrooms, 0% of them have been transgender folk. And the bulk of the people who are being harmed are transgender folk, or people who maybe don't present in a way that feels clear to someone who reads them, whatever gender they may be. And almost 100% of the perpetrators are cisgender men, and 0% of the laws are written about protecting folk from these cisgender men predators. So even just like disrupting this narrative of safety and fear, like this, we've got to call it out for what it is. These laws are not about keeping people safe. It's about fear mongering and politicizing people's personhood. Call it out, disrupt it. Like, okay, cool. If that's what you believe, but be clear that what you're saying is not actually what you're doing. And so if people choose to do it, then let them be clear that they're not doing this thing that they're trying to hide behind and like kind of fear monger and get people behind them and rallying, right? Because 0% of perpetrators have been transgender people. And almost always all of them have been cis men who, men who dress and wear dresses are men. Trans women are women. So let's focus on the actual problem, the actual place of fear, and then create solutions around that, and not keep scapegoating at people who are already, you know, um, victimized in quite deadly ways.
Yep. Thank you.